So now we come to the what question. And so obviously that's already up there. What I want you to do to start the what off, the first thing you do is you draw a line right, best you can, just try to hide it. It's kind of hard sometimes, but right through the middle. Just draw a line right through the middle of the what. All right. And then at the top, I want you to write your story. All right. Okay. And then underneath that, I want you on this line, I want you to write God's story. All right. I think that makes sense. So we're going to start with this one up here. So what's the tool for your story? I want you to write 15-second testimony. Okay. I think that'll make sense. And I'm going to put a line underneath that, just kind of set it off from everything. So we're going to start with this. And let me give you an example of what a 15-second testimony sounds like. There was a time in my life when I was anxious and I was impure, but I came to learn about the love and forgiveness of Jesus Christ, and I surrendered my life to him. And now I'm not nearly as anxious anymore, and I'm much more pure in my thought life. Do you have a story like that? So I think you guys see there's a little bit of a cadence, and it sounds a little cheesy, but just bear with me. And I'm going to train you in a very simple 15-second testimony. So the first thing I want you to do is at the top underneath this line right here, I want you to write, there was a time in my life, right? And you put quotations around it, right? Just like that. All right. There was a time in my life. All right. And then what I want you to do right now is actually I want you to practice that with your butt. Is look at them and just go, there was a time in my life. Go back and forth. I know it sounds kind of cheesy, but the repetition will make sense in a little bit. So there's a time in my life. Go back and forth with your buddy and say that. Okay. Now, what I want you to do on the left-hand side, I want you to put an arrow. Get up there as far as you can, as close to that. I want you to put an arrow just like that. And I want you to put two lines underneath it, just like that. And I want you to think of two words that describe your life before Christ, before you came to the Lord. Now, in my situation, I came to the Lord very, not later in life, but young. And so I really don't remember a lot from my life, but I do know there was a time in my life when I was far from God. Okay. So if you came to the Lord early in life and you don't really remember, just are there two words that describe your life when or characterize your life when you were not walking with God? And so for me, I think you guys heard what mine were. I was anxious and I was impure. And so you put your two words there. And I mean, I've heard all kinds of stuff like I was in debt, I was angry, I was unloved. I mean, I was, you know, confused. There's a million things you can put here. So put the two words that would describe, or really a tight couple words that would describe what your life was like before Christ or when you were not walking with him. Okay. So just take a moment to do that. Put those two words in there. And then I think you know what I'm going to do. Then at this point, what I want you to do is I want you to practice this with your buddy. Okay. Say, there was a time in my life when I was anxious and I was impure. Okay. So go back to your buddy, say that, and have your buddy give you their, at least the first part of their 15-second testimony. And that should take just a few seconds to do that. All right. Go. So you come back from that, and you actually, if it's good to kind of survey the audience or your training, your group, whatever. Say, hey, what are some of the words you gave in this section to describe your life before Christ? It's always great. I mean, I've heard some incredible words over there that just break my heart. But it'd be good to survey the group at that point. Then what I want you to do is I want you to put a cross right in the middle, just like this. And then at the top there in quotes, I want you to put Jesus. All right. And then I want you to put 3 lines. Okay. And I want you to put the words that drew you to Christ or had to do with your experience of coming to Christ or coming back to Him or what the case may be. For me, it was I came to experience the love and forgiveness of Jesus, and I surrendered my life to Him. Now, I think it's a good idea to have an action word at here at the end. I believed, I followed. But what are those 2 words that describe, some people go, I came to learn about the judgment of Jesus and his mercy, and I surrendered my life. So just take a moment and put the 2 or 3 words in here that fit your description of how you came to Jesus. Okay, so just take a moment and do that. And then start from the top again. There was a time in my life when I was anxious and I was impure, but I came to learn about the love and forgiveness of Jesus, and I surrendered my life to Him. Now I want you to go back and forth. I want you to now make sure you mention the name Jesus, okay? Not the big man upstairs or God. It's really key to mention his name, okay? That's really the dividing line that sets us apart from a lot of people. So, okay, take that from the top with your buddy. There was a time in my life I was anxious, I was impure, but I came to learn about the love and forgiveness of Jesus Christ, and I surrendered my life to Him. Go back and forth and practice that with your buddy. All right. All right. Now we come back and I want you to draw an arrow looking forward. Okay. And then I think you might figure this out. Put 2 lines. And I want you to describe in these 2 lines, looking forward, how has Christ impacted your life the most? What's the biggest difference in your life? Now, they can be the opposite of those things, or they're different things. And so sometimes it makes sense to do the opposite, and sometimes it doesn't. But there was a time in my life where I was anxious, I was impure, but I came to learn about the love and forgiveness of Jesus Christ, and I surrendered my life to Him. Now, um, I'm going to say I have purpose. I really do, and I'm a much nicer person, right? All right, so I want you to put your 2 words in there, and just take a moment um, to put those 2 words in there and what's different about you. Okay. Just take a moment. All right. All right. So now practice with your buddy. Go back and forth. Go, there was a time in my life where I was anxious and I was impure, but I came to learn about the love and forgiveness of Jesus Christ, and I surrendered my life to Him. And now I have purpose, and I'm just a much nicer person. Go back and forth and practice that with your buddy. Okay. So it might be a good idea again. Ask, hey, what are some of the changes you guys put over here? Ask the group what that is. All right, so they practice that. And then you end with this. Do you have a story like that? All right. Now, here we go. Start from the top, right? There was a time in my life when I was anxious and I was impure, but I came to experience the love and forgiveness of Jesus Christ, and I surrendered my life to Him. And now my life has purpose. I'm much nicer to people. Do you have a story like that? Okay. So start from the top, go all the way through it. All right. With your buddy. Okay. All right. Then let them do that. And then what you do is then just at the end of that, I want you to draw an arrow. We're always using our story to get to God's story. All righty. Great. All right. Perfect. That is the first part of the what?